You might have heard lots of rumours swirling about the couple, especially over the weekend, that their relationship is on the rocks. It's been suggested the couple are taking some time apart.
There is the hope amongst certain people at the palace that when the marriage breaks down or breaks up.
Are reportedly on a trial separation after months of fighting. Sources close to the pair say the time apart is in the hope of rebuilding their bond after recent humiliation and deals falling.
They always say every fairy tale has a tiny crack, but this one? Oh, this one blew open like a bomb, and it all began with a single email. One sentence, one slip, one moment Prince Harry never expected the world to dissect. For years, the whole planet believed Harry would guard Meghan Markle with his life. Loyal, obsessed, unshakable. The man literally walked away from his home, his duties, his entire bloodline, all for her. But now, the storm isn't coming from Meghan. It's coming from him because palace insiders claim Harry recently let something slip, something he probably never intended anyone to ever hear. And Meghan?
The relations will ever be the same ever again. But if there were a divorce, it would be a more dignified way of extricating him from the situation.
Completely blindsided because that little sentence he wrote years ago exposed a fault line running straight under their marriage, a hidden crack no one saw coming. And to understand how deep this goes, you have to go back to February 2018. One email Harry sent, an email that later ended up in court as illegal evidence. On the surface, it looked harmless, polished, protective.
They went over to America. They were going to be a power couple. They were going to be the next Michelle and Barack Obama or the next George and Amal Clooney, and that has not worked.
But inside, tucked between the words, was one line that made royal insiders freeze a line that didn't match the timeline, didn't match the facts, didn't match reality at all. A line that changed everything, because that sentence implied a baby was already coming. But here's the jaw dropper. In February 2018, there was no baby.
Well, of course, they have poisoned the pond to such an extent, but she has poisoned it irretrievably.
No announcement, no bump, no whispers, not even a rumor in the darkest corner of a tabloid. So why on earth was Harry writing like he was racing against a ticking biological clock? Tonight, we're pulling the thread that unravels the entire fairy tale, because once you understand what that email really meant, you will never look at their marriage the same way again. Was Harry protecting Meghan? Or was Harry protecting a secret?
Reading in these papers, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, they've split, they're taking time apart. They've been humiliated and broken by their failures. And, this story was everywhere. It was in the US, it was in Britain, it was here, it was in India, it was Pakistan.
Our characters? Simple. Harry, emotional, loyal, heart first, logic later. Meghan, magnetic, strategic, always camera perfect. Together in public, they were the modern fairy tale. Two rebels rewriting the monarchy, two lovers taking on the world.
And given that this is a woman who he has chosen to lose everything for.
But behind palace doors? Oh, honey, it was messy. The kind of messy you whisper about behind teacups. Staff felt something wasn't adding up. Schedules suddenly shifted. Meetings became panicked. And all of it centered around Harry's strange urgency, his obsession with one line, before the baby arrives, wait, what?
Commentary around the fact that there may be some upset in their marriage as well. But at this stage, it's just looking like they are very much following different.
Because in February 2018, Meghan wasn't pregnant. Not publicly, not privately, not medically. Yet Harry wrote that line like he was racing a due date. Why? Receipt number 1, the impossible timeline. Harry sent that email in February 2018. They didn't marry until May 2018, and the world didn't hear the pregnancy announcement until October 2018. That's an 8-month gap.
Certainly tried to crawl back into certain people's good graces, which suggests that whether he has admitted that he was wrong or not, he is.
But Harry's email made it sound like a baby was arriving before the wedding. Let that sink in. A child that supposedly existed long before any pregnancy ever became public. The math was not mathing. So, what timeline was Harry even living in? Receipt number 2, palace confusion. Inside royal offices, people were stunned. Staff who had dealt with decades of royal drama suddenly paused and whispered, "What is going on?" Meetings became urgent. Schedules scrambled. The Queen herself, calmly and quietly, asked for clarification, because even she sensed something was off.
The famous people in the USA, Meghan Markle and, of course, her husband, the Ginger. What do you make of reports in Vanity Fair that Meghan's PR team have reportedly spruiked a potential book about her life post-divorce from Prince Harry, which is a bit awkward since the couple haven't even split up?
But here's the craziest part. There were no medical records, no doctor visits, nothing, just Harry repeating that one line over and over again: it needs to be settled before the baby arrives. And here's the thing nobody wanted to say out loud, not even in hushed tones. The only person who ever mentioned a baby back then was Meghan. Harry wasn't protecting the monarchy. He wasn't protecting his family. He was protecting a narrative. But whose narrative was it? Receipt number 3, the vanishing crisis. By March 2018, literally weeks later, everything suddenly changed. The panic evaporated. The urgency vanished. Emails became calm again. Schedules went back to normal. The baby emergency that had thrown the palace into chaos just disappeared overnight. Insiders quietly murmured that Meghan told Harry she had lost the baby. But here's the issue. Nothing about the timing aligned with a real pregnancy, not medically, not physically, not logically.
So what Radar is saying is that they are taking a temporary time apart just so that Harry can try to find... Harry does not like the chaos of Los Angeles. Harry does not like the...
It was a crisis that came out of nowhere and disappeared just as fast. So naturally, the palace started whispering the question nobody dared ask publicly. Was there ever a baby at all? Receipt number 4, the 3 masks. Palace staff began noticing a chilling pattern, as if Meghan switched between 3 different versions of herself depending on what she wanted. The first mask, the victim. Soft voice, emotional eyes, trembling tone. Instantly, Harry would jump in as her protector. The second mask, the partner united, warm, perfectly in sync. Whenever Meghan played this role, Harry followed wherever she pointed, no questions asked. The third mask, the star confident, glowing, adored by cameras, while Harry faded quietly into the background. And the timing of each mask? Perfect. Almost strategic. Each emotional shift unlocked a different reaction in Harry. She didn't need chains, she had emotion. But here's the real question. What happens when those masks stop working? Receipt number 5. The wedding that couldn't be stopped. Their engagement moved at record-breaking speed, 6 months, faster than any modern royal wedding ever. And guess who pushed for that speed? Harry, urgently, frantically. Every reason, every justification pointed back to that one line: before the baby arrives, this wedding wasn't planned. It was scheduled. It wasn't romance. It was a deadline. A deadline the palace never understood. A deadline that changed the entire course of Harry's life. And the wildest part? We're still not at the most shocking detail. TikTok creators reenacted the email line with dramatic music. Before the baby arrives, then cut to an empty room or a sagging pregnancy pillow tossed on a chair. Memes lit up every platform, from people pretending to be palace staff asking for medical proof to others showing Meghan handing over a random Starbucks cup like it was an ultrasound. Hollywood loves scandal, but what it hates is a scandal it can't control. And this one slipped right out of their grip. But when the camera stopped flashing and the brand deal slowed down, the silence grew louder. He wasn't a prince anymore, not a hero, not the rebel savior. He felt like an accessory in his own life. Netflix wasn't thrilled. Hollywood whispered behind closed doors. Is any of this even real? Even Meghan noticed Harry slipping emotionally, but she couldn't stop it, because once a man who gave up everything begins questioning what he gave it up for, the entire foundation shakes. And that's exactly what started happening. This email wasn't just paperwork. It was the blueprint of their entire relationship. Urgency, pressure, emotion, fear, all wrapped in one timeline that didn't exist. If that story wasn't real, then what was? If they rewrote one timeline, what else did they rewrite? Harry, for the first time, isn't just angry or confused. He's reflective. He's seeing patterns he didn't recognize before. He's replaying moments that once felt emotional but now feel orchestrated. And Meghan, even she can't calm the shift happening inside him, because once someone starts questioning the truth, you can't unsee the cracks. That email was never just an email. It was a warning, a signal, a glimpse into the machinery behind the scenes. A machinery that shaped their love story, their rebellion, their downfall, and maybe even their future. So now everything comes down to one question, the only question that matters. Has Harry finally woken up to the truth, or is he still living inside the version she built for him? Either way, the royal fairy tale isn't just cracked, it's shattered. And trust me, this story, it's nowhere near over.